everyone's saying become the media company. And are we there yet? No, confidently, we're not there yet. Is that what we're actively working towards? And is our North Star? 110%. So we are trying to become the media company, and I think are taking some really good first steps. But for me, this has been a huge learning experience. I've learned a ton from you. Who are some of the companies that you think are doing this well? And like, where are you getting inspiration from? Because some of the companies that you first shared with me, I had no idea who they were. And I check their site and check their content out all the time now.
Yeah, I mean, somebody was just asking me this the other day. Two companies that I really like what they're doing right now. I love what Profitwell is doing. I think they've got a really nice mix of shows. They lean in as the expert. They've built out their own legit media arm. They call it Recur. So check out Profitwell if you're looking for inspiration in terms of how they're doing it. If you really break it down, it's not complicated and it's not complex. A lot of their shows are what you would sort of consider a traditional sort of interview or back and forth show. But they build really cool sets. They've got, really cool ideas. The angles are interesting. And they just talk about different areas of the company, and different things that resonate with their audience. So I think that's one because they're doing multiple shows and multiple streams at once. The other one that I really just like what they do because I think they're super authentic and they're doing it the right way is Wistia. And I think Wistia, Chris Savage, their CEO, he like leans into it. He hosted one of the shows they were doing. And they've really built a culture around video, helping people get better at video, and doing the same thing as what Profitwell has done, which is sort of trying to build out a media arm. They have a whole separate almost media company outside of their traditional marketing team, which is super interesting. Like just the way they've structured their team is super cool. So I like what they're doing. And then where I get inspiration even outside of companies is I look at honestly like individual creators. I love to look at individual creators or individual brands. Like there's certain YouTube channels like I joke about it all the
You
time, but
send
I
me
like
these all the time.
I watch like golf videos and car videos on YouTube and like how they create shows and create content when they're not selling products is super interesting to me because that's what I want to be able to do. I want to create content that's interesting, helpful, useful, entertaining, and not think about it as like I'm working at a company selling a product. I want to be able to almost like, man, I would pay to watch this.
Yeah, you mentioned the individual creators, and I think you've kind of turned me onto this, but I've found myself paying more and more attention to individual creators and what they're doing. And perfect example, and probably a perfectly polarizing example, is Gary Vee. At the end of the day, I mean, some people love him, some people absolutely hate him. But I think when you look at how he is approaching like the new way of PR and the way that he creates content and the variety of the content and the formats and how consistently he's publishing, like you told me, everybody doesn't have this luxury, but his team is enormous that's doing that, right?
Yeah, his individual brand, I think at one point I heard was like 20 some odd people, but it might even be more than that. Like he's got a ton of people that are just working on that brand. So he's got a
Yeah.
company almost that's just focused on putting out content.
Yeah, it's amazing. But yeah, I think outside of Gary Vee, I mean, there's definitely some creators on LinkedIn. Like I look at Justin Welsh all the time and everything that he's doing and seeing, whether it's the videos or the courses or really anything that gives value away and then positions that person as the expert without them calling themselves the expert. Like that's kind of the name of the game.
Yep, totally is.